Hi, everyone. Welcome to Menopause Chats. I'm Erin DeRusca and delighted that you're here, and even more delighted that my friend Louria is here, who is going to talk to us today. So good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. So I'd love to hear where are you on your journey?
Oh,
I'm
I'm
a
fully,
journey.
I know which journey. I am fully menopausal. Like it's a wrap, which is great. Kinda. The 25 extra pounds sucks. I would love to have some of those, whatever those hormones are that help regulate weight. Because if I look at a cookie, I gain a pound, and I've never really had that problem before. So, um, that's where I am on my journey. Um, but that's my biggest thing is weight. It's like your metabolism just slows down and because of the lack of hormones, you get like achiness that I've never had before, like bone aches. You get up, you're sore and stiff. Um, yeah, that's the no fun. And then just not having people to talk to about there's not like I went to this like lifestyle, they were trying to talk about it, but it felt very generic. It felt like, like you have like when you call in and you're like, my computer isn't working, they say, have you restarted it, have you done this? They kind of like gave you like what to eat, and I'm like, well, that diet doesn't work for people in menopause, eating little meals all day. First of all, my body doesn't do that. It doesn't burn the same way, and every woman is different. So I wish they had more information or specialty, doctors to just talk to women way before menopause of how we should eat and help maintain our bodies and keep our bones. I broke my finger, stuff breaks easier. So that would be nice if they put some care into women's health.
What? You're asking for a little too much.
No, just because we can't now, birth babies or or whatever. We're not. I don't know. We're not useful. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah,
it's like,
I'm of no use to society at this point.
you can't do anything now. So go be what was that, Aunt Lydia on the Maid's
Yeah.
Tale? Like, go
Yes.
be something weird. So
I
I
always thought I'd probably end up being one of the people that get stuck working in the field, because I
right.
couldn't keep my mouth shut. So,
I know. But I love that you're doing this because it's important, really important. Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, and I mean, and I think there are resources, and there obviously are resources out there now, and I think more so than before. But you're right; it's not a one size fits all. And finding a practitioner that can like work with you specifically versus being like, here's what everyone should do. And
Yeah.
I don't think I've shared this on here. So I was looking at like working with trainers and things like that. And I was like part of the program, the person was it interviewed you to see if you're, one, if you were finding out about the program, they were finding out about you. But she kept saying to me, annoyed me so bad. Oh, we'll help you get your high school body back. We'll help you get back into the body you were in high school. Yeah, I made a similar face, but she couldn't see me because I was on the phone. Because I
Yeah.
thought my body was worse in high school, first off. So I don't want to be back in my high
Yeah.
school body. And two, like there was not a part of me at all that said anything about wanting to get back into my old body. I was talking about wanting to be functionally fit, wanting to just
Yeah.
be stronger, wanting to make things easier for me as I age, right? Being able to continue to move and be active. I don't need to be, in some sort of bodybuilding competition
Right.
or,
Right. Right.
some Miss America pageant or something like that. I don't no, I don't need that. I would
Right.
feel comfortable. I'd like my clothes to fit.
Yep.
And I would like to be able to, pick up grocery bags, walk up and down the stairs with ease, like that sort of thing. I'm not asking for a whole lot. But I was
Right.
so put off. I mean, I obviously didn't work the program because I was so put off by oh, we'll get you back. And it just was not listening at all.
Well, no, because they have a spiel. They're not listening. The listening skills, they were in level one of what I need. I don't care what you talk about. Let me sell you this miracle. Because I was small. I definitely don't want to be 108 pounds. I was so skinny. I would look sick. So definitely it's like, but I want something and, talk to me about that. It's the care that is behind it that to me, I think is important because they don't do that. They only talk to you when you come to complain about it. But where is the preventative methods or just the discussion? Like I see you're this age and, you may become, here's some, like beforehand, just to
Yeah.
like ease you
Yeah.
into it. It's
Like
just
maybe
like,
starting it like because it starts at what 35-ish for like
yeah, some people,
it
yeah,
could start that early, right? And if that's the case, why aren't we given like pamphlets or something like,
talk
when you go
about
to
it.
your gynecologist for your your pap or whatever, it's like, hey, so things to start to think about
Yeah.
if
When
you
they
get
run your blood work, right? They can see your hormonal levels and start talking to you and saying, here, I want to set you up because it's going to be quite different. Here's how you could eat, your mood. So when I first started, didn't know what was going on with me. Brain fog. I couldn't remember words. Like I thought I was going senile, first of all. And I was like, I think I am losing my mind. I was like, what is this thing called? It wasn't a phone, but it was like small things because you get brain fog.
oh yeah,
Really
yeah.
bad. And so, but it makes you feel like you're losing your mind, like you might have Alzheimer's. And that's what I thought was happening to me. But if they would have told me that this is completely normal, and the way I learned was because I was so I was like, oh, I'm so depressed. I went to the support group for also grief because someone had died and these older women where I was like, I'm having brain fog. And it was like, oh, that's just your menopause. And they laughed about, oh girl, I just was, and it was like, oh, is that what it is? And they said it could be grief. And I was like, oh, it's also you're going. And if well, someone would have just told me, I wouldn't have felt crazy. And then your moods drop a lot, and so you become depressed because your serotonin is low. So I started taking like SAM-E, and it really helped me. But before that, I was on hormone pills, and they were like, oh, or whatever, and that didn't work for me. So I know it works for a lot of people, but I gained like 8 pounds in 2 weeks, and they were like, oh, that's probably your menopause. I was like, chick, I've never. So I stayed on it, and it would increase my mood, and I just didn't like it because it was just I went off of it. It was making me feel kind of crazy. And I just stopped taking like SAMe, which is a raises serotonin levels. I take another alpha GPC for it raises those and like energy boosting. And that help, but I have to take it every day. Because if not, I was curled up on the couch like just I was like, I can't get off the couch because your serotonin, they're so low. And what also helped my doctor when I moved back where I am a year ago and I went, I was like, this is not helping. She was like, let's take you off this because it doesn't work for everyone. It's not working for you. Um, and she says, what do you do for activity? Do you like? So I'm very active. And so she was like, go start working out. I started playing volleyball outdoors. And all of a sudden, I had way more energy. So I play volleyball like 2, 3 times a week. I go ride my bike when I can because it's cold here sometimes, but I keep active and I take that and I'm so much. Or I just was meeting with for a diet, like how can I lose weight? And he said instead, like if you're just like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? He says, get up, go outside, even in the winter, and take a walk. He says, as soon as you go outside, there's something about being outside that energize, and it will. And then I'll be like, I want to ride my bike. So it's helping me lose weight, but it's also helping my mood. Now the aches and pains, someone needs to shoot me with some estrogen or something because be sitting on the couch and then you get up and you're like, and you get up like this. It's weird. You're like, and I'm bent. I'm like, okay, now, activate the back. And I'm like, it doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes I'm stiff and I'm like, whoa, like, oh, or my leg or knee. And I'm like, she was like, she was like, it's just menopause. She's like, it's sad, and so, they're like just natural vitamins and fruit. And so I've started to eat better. Sugar is my worst enemy. So if you want a hot flash, eat some sugar, people.
I had that way with wine. I can't drink wine anymore because it just does not, I guess I feel like a mess after just even a glass of wine. It's like a hot flash in
Right.
a glass. It's like no thanks.
Right? I don't really get them as I used to. I remember when I first started, I don't know what I was sitting, I never forget, I was sitting there. I was probably like 42. I was sitting there. All of a sudden, I was just sweating. I don't really get them anymore. I was like, what is going on? Now it's more like I can tell when I've eaten too much sugar.
Yeah.
It'll just, and I'll get hot. Now I might get hot a little quicker than other people, but I don't really get the flashes. I just think I'm naturally about 5 degrees warmer. Like, which is horrible. I used to always be cold, and now I think I'm just like in the winter, no one likes my house because it's like the heat is probably on like 67, and that's about
What is your
that's about as hot as I know. But I don't get like too many. It's sugar for me, and I think it's different for, like you said, wine. I think it's different for everyone, but you'll find that food
Yeah.
that does not work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's also
Good.
the weirdest thing. Like I feel like there's other things now. Like yesterday I had too many things with tomato sauce. And I was like, oh, I don't feel good now, So but it's these little but never had a problem before. But I used
Yeah.
to not be able to eat ice cream and I can eat ice cream now. So
That's a benefit.
right. Who knew?
Yay, premenopausal. No.
Right. So yeah, it's kind of funny those different things that sort of change. But
Yeah.
um but I do think there is something to be said for being outside and just
Yeah.
and some of these things sort of feed into one another that don't help, right? So it's like, oh, the hormones make my mood go down, and because my mood goes down I don't want to be active, and I want to sleep more. And because I'm sleeping more and I'm not active, or like in my case it's wanting to eat to sort of self soothe, and then
Yes.
so then I eat more, so I'm not active, I'm eating more, and then
Yep.
it's like it all
Wait.
kind of ties into each other, right? But if you go outside,
Yes.
if you're able to go, it's like, oh, then at least, even if it's just for a few minutes, I notice, I mean, I don't spend this time of year too much time outside because it's gross out. But taking the dog out and just being
Yeah.
outside for a little bit and watching the birds, listening to the birds, just
Yep.
we have a little wooded area around us. It I can automatically feel a little more calm. And
Yep.
it's like,
Yep.
great, but I do notice the difference of when I've shifted my activity. I was for a while doing like high intensity stuff and sprint
Mm.
and like, and I just have no interest in that anymore.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
don't know what happened this year.
Fine with
I turned 50 and I was like, I don't want to do that. So now it's
don't
like,
do
I'm
it.
going to
It's
dance. Like
gross.
dancing is
Yeah.
fun. And I think, I was not much of a dancer. I was always like, no thanks. Um, but now it's like, oh, I'll do some Zumba. I'll do some, I'll just
So
do
much fun.
moving my body, doing some, yoga or Pilates or something instead. So things that are either calmer or just more like, yeah, just more fun.
Yeah.
You know,
Free.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I I love that because I think it's about because the serotonin goes, everything goes down and you don't want to do things and you do eat. So that's you do because you eat because you're just sitting there and it's bored eating,
yep.
but it's also
Which
something
means it's
about
not like
eating
you're eating
also
bananas.
increases. No.
Yeah.
And then it increases your dopamine level when you eat. So you get excited because eating helps self-soothe. There's something in eating and chewing that helps you, right? And it's a horrible, and you don't lose the weight like that. So, because your body doesn't like fight off the weight. I could eat everything before, and I can't do that now
Yeah.
because my body doesn't uh
Yeah,
lose
I
weight
never
like
could
it
eat
used to. But
anything.
I think what's important,
Yeah,
oh, I
I was
could.
like, I could never eat anything, but it definitely is different now.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. But I think that's the thing. It just your metabolism gets lower and there's nothing you can do but I think what's important is to find a thing you love. Like for me, it is going outside. I am an outside person. I love the outside. But if yours is reading a book, but there's something about the sun and going outside, even if it's reading a book just outside for a second, let the fresh air wash over you and getting up. We all know, like, if you get up, like, I'll just be like, okay, I've been sitting for too long, let me get up, and I like go for a short walk. It might just be like around the block, and I have so much energy and I get way more work done. But it's that moment where I hear myself feeling like, yeah, yeah, I don't know why I'm here, but I'm just gonna stay here, but that's that you just have low energy levels and it's like, okay, gotta get up. And for me, being with friends and family, and that gives me way more energy. So I don't, I get way more work. It was even hard to get work done because it's just, I had no motivation. And so that they just really need to have women groups where we can talk about this and then also have an expert who's going to listen and not just push drugs and say, yeah, this is great. Because some of these, like even hormone replacement therapy, does have people to cause weight and they pretend like it doesn't. It does with some people, and some people it doesn't. But you have to realize that that can happen. So it'd be nice to have someone who has the experience, but really is listening and not just, I feel like they're really a pamphlet to me and saying what they're supposed to say. And I want you to care about me and not send me to a lifestyle program and they just tell me, the plate, eat the plate, eat a handful of
Yeah.
of vegetables. Eat this much. I know. Eat 6 ounces of meat. I already know that. It's not working. So, like talk to me about what's wrong with me, like what I need help with versus not what's wrong with me, but what I need help with. It would be nice to have a personalized, or just talking with a group of people would be nice because then you're like, oh, you do that. What's working with you? And, you know, we could
Yeah,
all walk and talk about our menopause.
yeah, I think when I went on hormones, I think I asked a question about weight gain because I had just lost a bunch of weight and I was like, I sure as hell don't want to put this back on. And I think the response I got, if I remember correctly, 'cause it was over a year ago, it was like something to the effect of like when I was on birth control pills when I was in college and stuff, did I put weight on then? Because that's another thing. A lot of people, if they go on birth control pills, will be like, oh,
Yeah,
I put on a bunch of weight. And I was like, yeah, I didn't. And she's like, you'll probably have a similar experience. And I was like, okay, good to know. But probably not the same for everybody either. But I was just like, oh, okay. I guess that's
right.
one sort of factor to look at. Like, oh, okay. I am curious because you've had a kid. So if you've noticed, were there any similarities between like how you felt during pregnancy, like brain fog wise and stuff like that, and your menopause experience?
No, I don't think so. I don't remember having brain fog until I went through. I didn't have it, luckily. So, not really. They're not to me, but it might
Yeah.
be for some, but nothing for one. I had my kid when I was really young, so bounced back like a champ.
Yeah.
And then the second one, I was like 34, and so I don't remember the brain fog. If it was, I just didn't want to be pregnant anymore. So I can't, this is way more lasting. But the body aches, I think that's it, the weight and the body aches. And also, I'm really hoping that we get better. I just think it would be nice to have for them to talk about this and have real programs, that's my biggest, or we just create our own and stop waiting for people like you're doing
Yeah.
instead of stop waiting for them to do what they're not, or they're trying to do it, but it's not the greatest thing. So,
Yeah,
you know,
because it really depends, like who your healthcare provider is, what education they've had.
yeah.
Even if they're a woman, they might not have had the education or the understanding because no one's telling them either.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just going by the book, and the book was not written. It's like it's someone who's experienced it. Like mine is now, she's great. And she's like, hey, that's the one that helped me really with like, you got to get outside, you got to do these things. But also has an experience menopause. So she has no idea. It's something to like, it's something you have to experience. It's not something you can, read in a book,
I mean, you can, but
So
it's
I'm glad.
still it's like it's not
uh,
everybody's experience is different. That's the thing. Is it's
yeah,
like there's not a single person who's like, oh yeah, I had that exact same experience, right? So I think I've done 11 or so of these
yeah,
videos and there's sometimes some similarities, but everybody's experience is so different, which was
yeah.
part of my purpose when I went down the rabbit hole of like reading about menopause so much.
Right.
It was that, oh wow, everybody has a different experience. Wouldn't it be great to hear about people's experiences? Wow.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I just meant like by the book is like it's something I still think you need to experience to grasp it, like, oh, that's what you're talking about. My mom used to tell me, you're gonna have your own personal summer. And I was like, yeah, okay. Until I had it. It's nothing you can describe. Like that's something you have to experience is a
And even
hot
then when you're
flash for
experiencing it,
you
you're like, is
really
this
to get
it?
the
Is this what it is? This has to be it.
I know. But it's different for some people. Mine were always really short.
Yeah.
Where my friend says she would just be hot for like an hour, 30 minutes.
Mine were
Like,
short
oh
too.
my goodness. Yeah, mine were short. They might be I don't know, they were always less than a minute, I just heat up and cool down. But, some people theirs last for a very long time.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I'm not senile. I'm glad it's just brain. I was like, I can't remember crap. And I just go with it now. I just tell people, look, I have brain fog and I might forget a word. So I might say, what's that word? Clue me in. And they're like, cool. I'm okay with it now. But it would have been nice to know,
Yeah.
you know. Um,
I mean, it's
yeah,
definitely, I feel that
been
I will be times like I'll be talking to my husband and I'll be like, yep, I just forgot. He's like, wow.
yeah,
I'm like, I
I
know.
know.
I was like, yeah, I'm like, I'll remember.
Mid-sentence.
Or my
I don't,
favorite,
one day,
walking into a room. What did I come into this room for?
yeah, I
Or
don't know.
opening up a tab on
Yeah.
the internet. What was I going to search? I don't remember.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? I'm like, I sat down. I know I was doing something. Oh, well. And you're like, oh, yeah, that thing. Got it. Sure.
Yep. Yep. That's
So writing down things is my best friend. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I gotta remember to do this thing. I have to put it in a note somewhere, or I will not remember that unless it comes up like, oh, that thing. I'm like, dang it,
I
that
have been
thing.
using the Todoist
Yeah.
app for a few years now, and I feel like that has
Mhm.
helped me, especially working with a bunch of different clients. It's like I will tell my clients this. They'll be like, "Oh, hey, can you send this thing to me or do this thing for me?" And I was like, "Sure. Let me put this on my list now." And because they all know, because I've told them, I was like, because if it doesn't get on the list, it doesn't get done. I was like, I will forget, or I'll remember at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
and nobody wants an email from me at 3 a.m.
And that's crazy because you were always
Yeah.
like, that never happened with you. Like you were the person where I would send it and like seconds later, I'm like, how did she already send me this information? Like,
Yeah, those days have changed.
yeah, I was pre-menopausal when that was happening
Yeah,
and they
we you met
weren't.
yeah, you met me before menopause
Yeah.
and now you get the after Erin,
Yeah. I know,
who
which
takes
is
longer to respond because she forgot.
exactly that's it. And I bet that was kind of probably difficult for you because you were always and other people not understanding like what is going on with Aaron.
Yeah, I mean it's a shift. I think my clients probably just think I'm busy, so they just
Yeah.
like they know I have multiple clients, so I think that's probably like, oh, okay. But but yeah, I think there's been times where I feel like somebody because I can't remember, somebody recently was just like, oh, you didn't respond to this thing. I was like, oh, sorry, it got buried, like in my texts or whatever,
Yeah.
I forget. And yeah, so it is a shift. Like I just have to learn to accept myself of where I am now and be like, yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like, and I know I felt more on top of things than I do now. But then I'm also like, maybe that was excessive and I didn't need to be that on top of things before.
I think you have room that everybody would be okay.
Yeah.
Like you were so on top. Not that it was excessive, but you were so on top that now you're probably like still above average.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
I'll take it.
but it still can be hard when you're used to something different. I mean, you know what I mean? Like when
Yeah.
you're used to operating a certain way,
Yeah.
or like I'm very athletic. So like my brain is saying, move for the volleyball. My body is 2 seconds behind.
It's like your body's smoking a cigarette in the back.
It's like it's just chilling. It's like it's okay. Take your time. I'm like, okay, I would have or just being afraid to like the brittle bone, not that my bones are brittle, but like I used to be up high and I would jump down. Now I'm like I step down. Like I'm not jumping off of almost anything because it's just my bones ache and that will and I think with the weight because I started to lose a little bit of weight, but it's really hard to also lose weight when you're older in menopause. You just
Yeah, I
don't
feel like
lose
it
it the
used to be
same.
like
So
I
that
could eat poorly and then do like watch what I ate for a couple weeks and I'd be back to my normal. And now that's not the case anymore.
yeah, no. And I think
You gained
one
that three
other
pounds that weekend. Great. It's here to stay.
yeah. Yeah, forever. And then it takes like a month or two to lose it, if not more. And I think another good thing that well, my aunt did tell me, I've always kind of lift weights, but is like the muscle, the loose, the loose muscle is is that something that I think women need to do earlier, just to know that like it's just you need to do that to keep strength up. It doesn't have to be anything even heavy. It can be really 5 pounds. If you just do it. And I was already doing because I just like that. But it would have been nice to know how important it is.
Yeah.
Like there's small things to do, like just hand exercises, for because your joints get stiff and arthritis and stuff like that all happens because someone steals our estrogen.
In
There's
the
an
middle of the night,
estrogen thief.
the little
I
thief that
know.
comes to steal your estrogen.
I know. I'm like, give it back. It's like I'm wondering if I could put something under the pillow and they would give me some more estrogen.
Almost
Just
like
half
like
of
an opposite tooth fairy, like the estrogen fairy comes, like you put like a little wish underneath your pillow and you get more estrogen in the middle of the night.
just half. I just need half of it back. I can settle with half versus zero. So yeah.
Well, I mean, the
But
drop in estrogen does impact your bone health, but to your point,
yeah,
like being active, doing weight bearing exercises, weightlifting can help with, at least keeping your
yeah,
bone density, better,
yeah.
not necessarily improving it, but at least not making it worse.
Yeah. But other than that, I actually do. I think it's the activities. It makes me feel better. But then there's also like that because it's like you always are hungry.
Hmm.
That's not for everybody, but that's how sometimes I feel, which I was never that hungry before. I'm like hungry, or then I'm not hungry, but I'm hungry for sweets.
Yeah.
Like, and that wasn't always an issue for me. And it's just when I remember when I was premenopausal, I just started eating more. And I was like, this is so weird, which I wasn't like that before. I would eat regular and, whatever. But it was just like this assess, especially now because a lot of people work remotely and being an extrovert, it's horrible for me. And like I have to get out the house. So you bored eat, but it's like also thinking about like food. Like I didn't used to do that. And I was talking to my doctor and she's
Like
like, yeah, that can
Like,
happen with some
I've
people.
been always planning my next meal while I'm eating my current meal. So like, I don't know. I don't know what that's like.
Yeah, I
It
wasn't like
feels like if you
that.
don't eat enough, you gain weight, and if you eat too much, you gain weight. Like that
Yeah.
seems to be the thing right now. It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
I know. But my doctor said that it's different for everyone. She's like, yeah, you that does happen where some people after like menopause, you don't like I'm normally not hungry until like 1.
no.
But then I eat, yeah. And she said that, you can probably eat twice a day and you eat just healthy.
Hmm.
And when I eat better, like one thing I did, because I was eating chicken and I stopped, but I eat seafood and vegetables. So like for a month, I actually lost weight and then I started eating sweets again. But there goes that. It goes birthday party. But I felt so much better. So it's just like just sometimes even like she's like, just try different things. Like I went gluten free for a while and that was okay. I didn't help me any. And so she's like, well, that's not your thing. Dairy bothers me some. Not that it makes me gain weight a little bit faster. And she's like, okay. So I was just experimenting. She's like, you have to experiment with your body of what it can take in and what it doesn't. And, and that was cool too, just knowing like there's like differences for everybody and what, playing with foods and with, like you said, tomatoes. It just didn't like you.
Yeah,
Like,
suddenly, like, and I've been fine. It's not like if I only would have had one meal with tomato sauce, I would have been fine. But I had two meals yesterday with tomato
oh,
sauce.
yeah.
Too much.
Yeah. One too many. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like all right. Anyway, anything else you wish people would know?
Um, I don't. I say find a menopause buddy or trio. Um, the moment something is weird, go to your doctor, find out what it is, ask for a support group. Because I think that's what's going to help you with your well-being the most. Is when you have other people who are going through the similar thing. Um, that would be my main thing is the because it'll be different journey, but it's nice to go through that journey
Right.
with someone. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, because it happens at different ages that like you might think someone in your peer group is in that and they're not, or it's just all over the place. But
Yeah.
find yourself some Meno friends.
Yes, exactly.
So anyway, well, thank you. It was really great to have you on here. I super appreciate it. So thank you for everyone who might be watching. Please feel free to comment and share. And if you're interested in being a guest, please reach out. Happy to have you on. Otherwise, we will see you next time. Thank you.